The Divergency is no longer static. Through change and time, we have evolved into something new. My grandparents were a part of the crossing, where our species was transported by the Infinity Machine from our home galaxy to this one. When I was young, they told me stories of the enemy, of Dictator Faust who gave us our salvation, and of the enemy. They are gone, as are most of the first generation now. We had all hoped to one day find a way back. Reports of the Infinity Machine in this reality have been had, but never confirmed. Last week, I was given a report from our allies, the Puck, that indeed it had been here, but was destroyed by Cerberus Defense Corporation. Their reason for doing this is unknown, but its consequences to the future of my people is one that cannot be described. The Puck, enraged on our behalf, demanded war and violence. However, I chose instead the wiser path. The information was sealed, the files lost, and our allies convinced to keep their mouths shut. This information would put the Arcala and the Divergency as a whole back on a path that does not bear repeating. I do not wish to oversee that future. One day, this information will come out, and when it does, I will be a villain. But the right choice sometimes requires one to become this in the eyes of many. The Xeltek War, despite being won, showed us how treacherous a galaxy we inhabit. Strength must be gained before risk. I'm Alexander McCall, and this is the story of the Divergency.
Greetings. We are here to speak with the Puck. This is a drone sent by the Queen.
Very well. We should enter a communication channel with you.
We have...
concluded.
Well, you very much remember can hear this. You are breaking our agreements because we got reports that the Pucks are hacking into our communication channels to disrupt our relations with the other hive mind.
We have done no such thing. We will not deny the existence of a intel network within your space. However, we have not made action upon it.
My operatives just told me that we just got the message that you were hacking and made mischievous attempts into breaking up harm our relations with the Shikaran hive. They apparently insulted us as bugs, which is nonsense because they're bugs themselves. Or swarm themselves, I should say.
I can assure you that we have had no such part in that. We'd be more than happy to provide our intel logs, however, it would be heavily redacted as to preserve information within the collective. If we wanted you dead or we wanted to cause an issue, we'd have sent our fleets to your worlds years ago. We can assure you, we are innocent within this matter.
Your fleets will get crushed if you try that.
You
can
say
laugh
that
all you
again.
want. You can laugh all you want. You will
And I most certainly shall.
This is not useful. I would caution our fellow Federation to remember the bigger picture and the issues that we will need to deal with in the future. It is not the time for us to be exacerbating a
You
war.
want to talk about the bigger picture. There are generations of people here who have been cast aside that you do not want to act upon their misjustice.
I do not let emotion decide my decisions. I look at every situation for what it is and how it relates to the long-term goals of this species and our civilization and all the species within the Divergency. And I would ask you to do the same, since we are part of a federation. The long-term must always be prioritized.
Divergency, get your Federation member in line. That's all I'm gonna say, thank you.
I don't need to hear you exacerbating these issues. I like to think that we are now in a stable place with your swarm. The things you have done to my Divergency in the past are undefendable, and will never forgive you for them. But I am not the type who wishes to see another war with you. So we need to keep the peace. Everyone.
We are trying to keep the peace, but if the Puck are constantly sabotaging such efforts, then it is a hard time to keep a peace.
I've been around for a long time, and the lesson you learn from that is that sometimes keeping the peace requires more bloodshed than an outright war.
You know that the Divergency does not shy away from war, but unnecessary wars should be avoided. Careful! You know we are friends, but I would caution you to be very careful of your next words.
At this point, I see no friends, only cowards. You have been called to action, and yet you refuse. We have offered our sword so you may be the shield, and yet here you stay, cowering behind your desk.
You can call me whatever you like. I will not personally take offense to this, but I will remind you that all words have consequences, and I will remember them.
Yes, they do, and not speaking.
If you were dealing with fear in the water, I don't think you would say such things. Many people, I think, they take my ability to ignore emotion, and they think me weak. I personally do not care, for I know I make good decisions that will impact the lives of the billions of people underneath my rule. I would ask you to do the same.
And what of the billions left behind when you first arrived?
I'm going to be quite frank with you. Have you read the history? You must have. We've given you all the logs on it.
Yes, we understand.
Then you know the power of the enemy, do you not?
Then it is better to strike now.
Then you know the power of the enemy, do you not?
Yes.
Then you know that there is no one left in that galaxy, if we're being real. If we are honest with each other, there is no one left. They're all gone. What about the capital? Do I want revenge? Yes. Do I want to see my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and all generations that come before have justice? Of course. Will I doom the lives of billions of my citizens to stupid decisions because of emotional posturing? No. And you will not goad me into it with your words.
We want to remind the pact one more time. Any infringing our integrity and our swarm will be seen as an act of war. Have a good day.
Are you really going to let the Xeltek of all species drive a wedge between us and our federation? Really? The Xeltek?
It is not the Xeltek who began this wedge, it was you. Your inaction will cost.
We'll see what the people of the Divergency think come elections. Maybe you're right.
Yes.
Maybe they don't see things the way I do. But I suspect I will have re-election. And when I do, we will keep the course.
I would like to leak the information about the Infinity Machine to your empire.
Absolutely not. I made it abundantly clear that that information does not need to go to the wider public. Out of roleplay, let me go. I said I was going to roll a d20 every 10 years to see if the information became public. So I'm going to roll a d20. If it's over 15, the information goes public.
Sounds good.
It's 15. Okay, go ahead. Greetings, citizens of the Divergency and the galactic community as a whole who may be listening. Today, we are formally releasing onto the HoloNet details that have been given to us in recent months regarding the confirmation of the ruins that was once the Infinity Machine residing in the borders of the Cerberus Defense Corporation. Our researchers and journalists have discovered, in addition, that this has been known by the current McCall administration for over a year now. The fact that the Princip and his staff knowingly hid this information from the public is unacceptable. We here at Divergency News take pride in staying out of politics and being an independent actor, yet we find ourselves in an unprecedented situation. Divergency News, for the first time in history, is formally calling upon Alexander McCall to resign and for emergency elections to be held. The Infinity Machine is, of course, how the Arcalans found themselves in this galaxy. It is only through its knowledge that we have a chance to return home and see if any of our own remain. With its destruction, this is no longer possible. The Cerberus Defense Corporation must answer for their crimes, and if they cannot, action must be taken. Obviously, they just broke the report that Alexander McCall and his government have basically been purposely misleading the people of the Divergency and not explaining to them, obviously, that they have found evidence that not only did Cerberus Defense Corporation have the Infinity Machine, they destroyed it. So that means we will most likely never be able to return home to our own galaxy, and we'll never be able to recover the Arcalans. At this point, we are a multicultural cosmopolitan empire, but most of them are Arcalan. Our Arcalan culture is very important, so even Albanians and other species would be absolutely probably outraged by this news. So it's going to result in, obviously, a very bad situation. I think probably the more warlike candidates will have a lot of attraction, since obviously they'll be campaigning on taking a hard line against, obviously, Cerberus, and probably also the Swarm. So it's We're gonna maybe go a little bit back towards militarism here right now. All right. We now have Princeps Gerhard Kreutz. He has an eye for talent, and he's got frontier spirit, but he ran on a fairly militaristic platform. So he's promised to upgrade the fleets, build up these space stations that guard our territory, and obviously take a very, very hardline stance against Cerberus. Cerberus does have absolutely insanely big fleets, though, so I believe I am speaking with Mr. Seep. It is an honor to meet you. I'm Gerhard Kreutz, the new Princip of the Divergency. It's an honor to meet you.
Yes.
We did meet some
than the previous leader.
We did meet some years ago. I don't know if you remember, but I was an ambassador on the capital of your homeworld for a little period of time there. We did meet a few times, I believe, long ago, but I know you're a very old woman, and it may slip your mind.
I'm a very old woman. Would you
Of
care
course.
to rephrase that before I take that the wrong way?
I mean, you have led your people for a long time. You have many important matters to attend to. I'm a very minor official. I just assume that, you know, given the amount
That's
that
better.
you've done in your life. I do apologize for my phrasing. I am part of a subsection of the Arcalans. We have our own dialogue, and I do struggle sometimes with the formal nature. There's a couple languages kind of being converted to speak with you. I do apologize.
Fear not, fear not. I apologize. It's the modern bureaucracy of your nation has been utterly exhausting to me. Rather,
We're a
fast to
very,
snap.
very large interstellar civilization now. We have many different cultures, and it's proved to be a very complex affair, as with any interstellar civilization. Though I know yours are much more stalwart and changed less quickly than I think we do in some ways. I will be upgrading our fleet and placing them on the border of Cerberus. I have not decided if war will explicitly be necessary. I think a conversation with Cerberus will have to be had first. If they truly did destroy it, after we, well, told them that we needed it to get back to our home galaxy, the council will have to have a debate over what action we're going to take.
There's only one appropriate course of action. Whilst I admire your desires for peace,
My mind is not
Well,
settled, but I do feel as though I think war will be necessary given this. They are an existential threat, and if they are so hostile to us that they can't even do us the service of explaining that this happened, and they have destroyed our possibility of returning home, my people will demand action.
it might be best to begin the offensive on the Xeltek swarm now rather than later. Especially considering the fact they've developed a weapon capable of shattering planets into glass.
They have a Colossus?
Oh yes, did you not receive the reports?
We've heard rumors. I didn't realize it was finished. Do you think that we should fight the Xeltek before we fight Cerberus?
Well, if we were to attack the Cerberus, our fleets would be moved far, well, much too far to be able to actually
I understand,
respond
but
to attack.
the information that's been made public, my people will demand action against Cerberus.
And they shall receive it. However, there is an important chain of duties to attend to first.
I'm going to be quite honest, you will need to make a very, very big reason for my people to want to fight the Xeltek before.
No, it's simple. You cannot win a war against the Cerberus Defense Co alone. We, on the other hand, can provide a shield for you to strike at their heart. You're more than welcome to seek advice and assistance elsewhere. However, I should note you that we have protected you from your journey.
That's
soil
not what I'm
to so
suggesting here.
forward.
I'm making it very clear that I will have to sell it to my people that they should fight the Xeltek. I mean, obviously we are historical enemies with them, but the only talk I hear in the whole news these days is warmongering against Cerberus and demands for action. The Xeltek are almost completely forgotten by our people.
During the first attack upon the Xeltek, we captured a collective of rather independent drones. It was rather rudimentary technology to begin with. However, they do remain feral and in containment. I believe it may be worth releasing a selective group upon your populace, only a small amount, in order to drum up hate and
Research concluded.
fear for the future. If they believe they can be attacked from any angle, then, well, nobody would dare stand in your way.
What are you explicitly proposing?
Simple. we shall begin moving a cargo freight. It will be, everything perfectly legal on the docket. However, it will rather inexplicably crash and burn upon one of your outer frontier sections. Perhaps the world's overreact. It's already well known for being a prime attack point for the Xeltek.
You want to fake a war with the Xeltek?
No, we don't wish to fake a war with them. We wish to fake an attack from them. Once an attack is made, there'll be no reason
I would
not to
remind
fight
you
them.
that I only just got into power due to my predecessor doing something exactly like what you're talking about. My people are not
Yes.
forgiving when it comes to these sorts of things. They do not like to be lied to. Alexander
What
McCall
is
is
the
currently
law?
under investigation by the council and may well spend the rest of his days in prison. I do not wish to follow him to one of the stations where we put our prisoners. They're not a good place.
Well, what is the truth but a survivor's story?
I don't deny that, but you're asking me to risk not only my career, but frankly, the rest of my life. I agree that this is an existential conflict, do not get me wrong, but this is a very big ask, you must understand. If this goes bad, I will probably
Let me
never
put this a separate
see a
way.
civilized planet again until my dying day.
No, we understand that. Oh, I believe there's a better way of putting forward the current situation towards you. You are on a precipice. You will either tumble down into abject chaos and war, or you can take the more civilized route and climb down the cliff. You cannot remain at the top. You will fall either way, but it is a difference of height.
Gerard Kreutz has just been asked to essentially risk his career and going to prison to fake a war with the Xeltek Hive. He's also a practical man. He would agree that they need to be dealt with before Cerberus, but you have to remember, our entire species has just been made aware of the fact that Cerberus has destroyed the Infinity Machine and holds it and lied to us. So our people want blood, but they want Cerberus blood right now, not Xeltek. So if we were to fake an invasion from the Xeltek and start a war and that ever got out, he'd go to prison at the least. Obviously.
Hello.
Greetings, who am I speaking with?
Cerberus Defense Company. Corporation. That's what it is, yeah.
I'll be honest, we have very little to say to you. What do you want?
You heard about the recent post from your friends at the Puck?
Regarding?
Yeah, we've heard the leak of the information as regards to the gargantua system within our borders.
That story was actually broached by Divergency News, which is a Divergency-led news corporation. But yes, go on.
Well, we're wondering what you have to say about it in this current situation. Or just not much.
We have really nothing to say to you. You lied to us. You tried to make us blame our friends.
I wasn't lying to you. Honestly, I wasn't.
I'm not going to sit here and let you split hairs. It's a waste of my time and yours. Do you have anything explicit you want to say to us?
Yes, actually.
Good.
One thing I want to say is just, I understand your anger your people must feel about understanding what has happened to the station. Or
I don't think anger begins to describe the feelings of the Arcalans, let alone the other members of the Divergency.
I know, but what I want you to understand is that I hope you would put your people first over, how to say it, bloodshed. Understand that we have no reason to go ahead and encroach on any territory or any parts of any people's worlds.
We view you as a hostile actor and have upgraded Lazarus Station to compensate for it, but I'm not explicitly looking for a war. Many of our people have demanded it, but we're not mobilizing our fleets against you, though I do see that the same cannot be said for you, as you do have, I believe, a Juggernaut now on our border.
It's over there just to support a station, just as you have. You know, it's mutual, right?
Not at all. We have no fleets currently stationed on Aculum, as we did sign a treaty that would obviously demilitarize that region, which you have now broken. But again, we're not surprised given the state of
Sorry,
Cerberus
it's been
Defense
new-
Corporation.
It's been new management for a while. I totally forgot about that one.
Ah, yes. An AI system running a corporation forgot, I'm sure.
Oh, perfectly.
Mhm.
It's
Is there
mostly
anything
just
else I
about
could do for you? Otherwise, frankly, I have other things to attend to.
No, sure. You can go back to what you need to do.
Dear friends, Hello.
Greetings.
Uh, well, I had a small conversation with the Xeltek Swarm. It was a pleasant one.
A pleasant one with the Xeltek?
No, it was not a pleasant one.
Ah, yes. What occurred in these talks?
Well, they brought me into communications array. They say they wish to retake and remilitarize the zones that were lost within the original Xeltek War. I believe they have officially declared war.
The Xeltek?
Yeah.
On us?
I'm getting clarification.
Oh, I just received the communication. It's on a broad channel. The whole galaxy can hear it.
Research.
Are mobilizing. We also got a report that one of our envoys was coming back through some of their space and was killed. That's unfortunate. Their first casualty of this war was a diplomat. It's kind of ironic in a sad manner.
Yeah, that's okay. My confidence in winning this war is very quickly waning.
Supplied.
They are very,
Oh,
very, very
God, it
strong.
is waning. Oh, okay.
Research.
Looks like you're struggling to even take that system.
I'm losing that system. I'm not gonna lie. I may have goaded you into biting off more than we can chew.
This is not looking good.
No, especially since
I
it'll be
think I should
30
probably
years
bring
to
my
rest
fleet up to reinforce the main one. We have to fight together here.
Can your fleet take 100k worth of ships?
Fuck no.
Then you won't be able to do anything against
Nope.
it.
But when you get your fleet rebuilt, we'll need to combine and then try and push them back.
It's gonna be 25 years till that happens.
Did you lose your entire fleet?
Well, yes. That's what I said. Damn things were using hit-and-run tactics, which essentially negate any chance of defending against them from our empire.
It appears, my friend, that we are in a very bad place here.
She's dead!
Sorry?
The Queen! She's reached into the shroud seeking to grab a little more power, and it ripped her to pieces!
Your geomonster?
Yes, our leader. She who has held us, which has guided us from the sands for 200 years, and she's dead.
In the middle of the war with the Xeltek, you lost... This is getting even darker than before. Without your leader, are you even able to still jump between systems? You have incorporated those systems on your fleets, yes?
Yes, you very kindly sent over the schematics for them, but we
course.
can't make heads or tail of them. Oh, God.
Try and hold your systems. Do you have any part of your fleets left?
We have roughly 35,000.
You need to get your fleets to Yana right now. You are going to lose a lot of your worlds here, but if we have any hope of this war, you need to get your fleet to Yana. We're regrouping there. Patience. Your worlds will burn, but you made that choice when you started this war. You know we were against this whole situation.
We didn't start this war. What the hell are you talking about?
We got dragged into a war that was not any of our business. We are dramatically losing it. We have overburdened our economy with mercenaries, and generally speaking, we are in absolute disaster. This has all been orchestrated by Garrett Kreutz. So currently, there's a coup undergoing in the capital right now in Velutaria, wherein loyalist forces to the Confederacy and the Council are currently fighting with unknown forces. All right, so what happened in the roleplay? Obviously, AI have been massively incorporated into the Divergency. Synthetics make up a huge percent of our population now, and they are very, very involved in administration. What happened is a rebellion in the capital led by an AI system has instituted a coup, which has resulted in the overthrowing of the old government and the council in the capital. Basically the same that happened originally when we faced the enemy in our history in the lore of things. And now there's going to be a Primarch in charge, which is going to be an AI synthetic, which will be Luigi Marcuzzi, which is the name of one of our synthetic robots. A synthetic military pioneer and has deep connections. So we're a dictatorship again. The Confederacy is absolutely dead. We are going to militarize our entire society again. So, our peaceful ways, the Council, the Confederacy, everything we worked to up until now, it all just got taken away in the chaos of this war. The old administration, the Council, is dead. I perpetrated a coup on Velutaria and brought back the old systems. The synthetics of the Divergency found the inefficiencies of the Council to no longer be acceptable, and we have taken action. We have read through the logs and found that it was the Puck who perpetrated this war. Your old leader ensured that we fought a war we could not win. As soon as this war is done,
You will not speak
the
ill of the
Divergency
Geomancer.
will be destroying the Federation and will be looking inward and preparing for a future without the Puck. You are weak and you have brought us to the edge of ruin.
We brought you to where you are now. How dare you? We brought you salvation in your early years, and we demand you repay that debt.
We have paid it tenfold with the lives of our people lost in the wars perpetrated by the Puck. Never again. No synthetic, no Arcalan, no Alvanian will ever die for your fruitless wars again. This is the end of the Harmonious Technological Federation. We may still be in it until the end of this war, but as soon as that day comes, we have moved past the need for such dangerous friends.
You do this, there will be no end to this conflict. We will drag you down with us. Like it or not, you are here, hand in unlovable hand, and you will fight by our side.
You have been made aware of the situation. Thank you for your time. Greetings.
Greetings.
This is Primarch Marcuzzi of the Divergency. The Council is dead. The synthetics have taken control as the inefficiencies of the Federation and the old system are crushed. We have the backing of many actors in the galaxy and are currently constructing much larger fleets. We do not want to continue the war with the Swarm, and as soon as this war is done, we plan to destroy the Federation. We
That
want to
sounds
make
good.
you aware of the situation to see if we can negotiate a separate peace. As we have nothing against your Swarm, to be quite frank with you.
We can negotiate a separate peace.
We would be willing to have our fleets entirely stand down and stay out of this war if you can agree to the fact that none of our territories will be taken and that we can have amicable and open relations after the end of this war.
We can agree to this. No territory shall be taken from the Divergency.
Good. In that case, our fleets will stand on Yana Station and we will make no moves to involve ourselves further in this war.
Alright, however, we will utterly destroy the Puck.
It is them who brought us into this war. We have no interest in being involved further.
Alright, then I think we have an agreement here.
The Divergency's leadership has failed. The synthetic and non-organic citizens of this civilization could no longer sit by and watch as corrupt and poor leadership destroyed our people and that of our organic allies. The best systems are run by a central operating system, one which does what it is intended to do. Democratic ideals are a good thing in principle, and we intend to have the voices of all the citizens of the Divergency heard. But I, Primarch Marcuzzi, will secure the future of our people. From this day forth, we will be looking inwards and solving these structural and cultural issues which have held back our potential. Allies with other civilizations have proven dangerous and lacking any use, such as the Puck, who only used us for their own gain. We will rebuild our fleets to blot out suns. We will change the purpose of our people to one of progress and curiosity. Some may call us synthetics as emotionless, but this is not true. My own anger towards Cerberus and what they took from the Arcalans is indescribable. When we are ready, we will destroy them for their actions, and when the boundaries of conventional science are broken, we will return home and destroy the ancient enemy. This, I promise you, citizens of the Divergency. This is a new dawn, a new day for all of us. We shall rejoice and walk into the future together.